Albie, and this is the Stumpcast, episode 3, where we talk about the third episode of Stumptown, Rip City Dicks. Joining me today on this episode, we have Sean. How are you doing today, Sean?
The fact that the spread is 10 points against the Patriots proves that all the money will be on the Jets, which means bet it on the Patriots. Bet your house. Bet your eighth mortgage on it.
Yes, I'm also excited about the show Stumptown. Very excited. I think this episode really gets things rolling very quickly. Predictably, she starts to get her PI's license. And this episode introduces probably the strongest character in the show so far, played by Donald Logue, who is someone I liked a lot in Gotham and TV shows that he's been in. I think he's good in both. I think he plays well as kind of that cop, but kind of washed up cop kind of feel. Plays that really well in this show. I've mentioned before some actors in the show that I like a lot. Kobe Smulders, obviously, is someone who portrays really well. Jack Johnson, who plays Gray in this show, I like him a lot. I think he does a really good job of portraying those characters. And I think having now Donald Logue, who turns bad in this show, provide kind of that villain aspect, really, I think, amps up things a little bit. Sean, tell me, what did you think of this actor, and how do you think the actors so far are doing?
There's zero chance Donald with his mono is going to be able to throw against the Patriots D, but it's proven to be the best D so far this year.
Great. Yeah, I certainly agree with you. I think overall, all the actors are, doing their job really well, and I think they're portraying their characters effectively. Again, I want to admit I'm not a big fan of the graphic novel. I haven't read it, but I think they're doing a really good job of being interesting characters and giving portrayals that really boost the source material for something that could be just kind of your standard procedural. Overall, I like this, case of the week. I think it provides a little bit of interesting, background to it. It reminds me a lot of kind of noir sensibilities in terms of, you've got, kind of the messy divorce job with a real estate tycoon. And yeah, I think it just does a good job at that. Sean, tell me, have you been enjoying the case of the week so far?
No, the real value here is on the Saints, who are 3-point underdogs on the road against the Bears. Now, I know... I know what you're thinking. This seems like a trap. But hear me out. The Saints are going to tear apart anything the Bears have.
Interesting. Yeah, I would agree. Certainly. This has been, I think a strength of the show so far. I didn't particularly like last week's very much, but this week I think it gets back to kind of that, having a really solid episode and a solid story to tell. I think you're starting to see the development of kind of some of the overarching things. Gray kind of looks into his murder of his friend, quotations around that one, and then some other things kind of going around with that, and kind of see where this show is going. You have an antagonist now, at least for a few episodes, in Donald Logue, and now you're going to have some other stuff going around with Gray. I think it'll be good. It's building some interesting ideas. Podcast, what do you think of... Sean, what do you think of some of these overarching things and where they're going this season?
And as we learned last week, even with Teddy, the Saints can score points. So, easy value.
I completely disagree with everything you've just said, but again, I think it's important to have, different viewpoints on this show, and I don't think it's always got to be all positive. So, I certainly disagree with you on this, but I think we can move forward and I think say that overall the show... for me, is doing a good job. It's being entertaining. Right now, the characters are kind of building. It's going to take a little bit. I feel like we'll know a little bit more in 2 or 3 episodes, how strong the show's going to be. So, that has been this episode of the Stumpcast. I've been your host, Albie. I wish you all the best. Anything else you would like to say before we conclude? Sean.
Easy value.
Thank you for joining me, Sean. I I hope we can continue this, and we hope to have you back really soon. Until then, everybody, it's been episode 3 of the Stumpcast. I've been Albie. Stump yourself.